Hi everybody, it's Lene. Thanks for stopping by and joining me today. Today for our Christmas craft, we are going to be making these oversized tags that can be used as, yes, a gift tag, but also an ornament. You can mail it, you can hand deliver it, but what makes it special is you're adding a photo, and then on the back we've got a pocket. And my inspiration for this is sharing special things at Christmas with maybe adult children. So a special photo from when they were a child, and then maybe a special family recipe that you would want to share that, you know, really means something to them. And then they can take this and they can hang it on their tree and enjoy that. So also what inspired me was old family photos. If you have old family photos, if maybe you're the elder person in your family who has a big box of these and you want to start sharing them, this is a great way to share those photos. So you could make a photocopy, or even, you know, just take a photo with your smartphone, or have that scanned and place it on your tag front, and this is the scanned photo, and then you could take a couple of original photos and stick them in the pocket to give to somebody and pass those down. So the next tag we're going to make is using the heritage photos and kind of taking that theme with that. So what I have used for both of these projects will be Poinsettia Passion 12 by 12 pattern cardstock from hot off the press, and it is really beautiful, you guys. The poinsettias do not disappoint, and the color scheme is really great, and there's lots of borders and lots of beautiful design. And I particularly like this one with a watch for the heritage page. We're going to be using that one, and then there's also some cutouts as well. All right, so the first thing we're going to do, we have this sort of oversized size tag just cut from a cream color cardstock. And to give you some measurements, this tag is about 3 3/4 inch wide, and it's about 8 1/4 long. But the great thing is you can make it any size you want as long as it's quite large. And if you have a cutting die, that's always really nice to have, in which case you could cover your cardstock with the pattern paper by gluing it on, and then you could go ahead and die cut it. But I'm assuming that you guys don't have that, and we're just going to be cutting it from a pattern or cutting it from your own design of a large tag. So the first thing we're going to do is take this tag, and you know, I actually just recycled a bit of a file folder for this one. I had some that I had used, that I had bits and pieces of, and so I just grabbed an old file folder and covered that. It's the perfect weight. And I'm going to take this tag and I'm going to put it so that the clock kind of runs off the edge. About like that. Okay, and then we're just going to cut this down. And as I said, if you're using a large cutting die, you would cover your paper just to give it a nice firm feel. This is patterned cardstock, but I'm kind of going for a heavier weight in case it wants to be hung from a Christmas tree or a bulletin board, or, you know, even hanging on the wall, because it's a pretty tag. All right, so once we've got that, now I want to round the corners. Take my little corner rounder. All right, there we go. Now the next part of that is we're going to go ahead, you know what, I probably should have waited to round my corners till I had them both covered. I got excited. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is put some paper on the back. So we're going to utilize some more of this black paper right here, but we're not going to use all of it, so I'm just going to tear away some. Okay, we're just going to put it like this, and then the bottom part we're going to cover with a pocket, so that's not going to show. It's not going to show my torn piece. And if you find that, you know, your paper or your cardstock's getting a little warped because of all the glue you're using, like mine is getting a little warped, just let it dry. I'm moving very quickly, so I'm not letting it dry. Normally I would let them dry in between the steps. All right, so we're going to get this covered, and then we're going to go ahead and put the pocket on it, and then I will round my corners again because I was too impatient. All right. So that's going to be the back, and so for the pocket, I wanted to take something, I think from this side. I'm just going to tear that. All right, and that can just go right around the edge there, and I'm going to just take the surface of a black ink pad. I'm just going to add some ink to that torn edge so it kind of stands out. And then I'm going to glue this down more because I didn't go down far enough with my glue. All right. Put that right there. And as I said, normally I would let that dry for a couple of minutes, but we're just going to move right ahead. Oops, come on, Lene. Okay, finally, we're going to go ahead and round that and be done. Nervous about rounding it because it has a lot of glue on it. I'm just going to let that dry for a minute, just in case. So while we're waiting, I'm going to go ahead and punch a hole at the top. The top center, right about there. All right, so as far as photos go, I want to be able to give this one away when I am done decorating it, and that way you guys can add your own special photo to it. So I'm just going to be using just a little bit of cardstock there that you can add your own photo to. So I'm going to go for just a little photo right there. I'm going to ink the edges. And then you can add your own photo and your own pocket and your own memories. You could put recipes in there to share. There you go. We're going to put it just like that. All right, let's see if this is ready to do a little corner rounding on. There we go. All right, now this back side, I could just very easily tuck a few photos in. I'm just going to do that temporarily. And then on this side, we're going to go ahead and wrap this with a little bit of ribbon, and I've got some lace to add to this one. For this one, I added a little bit of 1-inch wide cream lace, and I'll put the link down below for that one. I got it on Temu. This one I also got on Temu, and is just a little bit of the white, and I think that is so pretty. And it's going to look really nice with that black and white setting. So we're going to add just a little bit down at the bottom. We don't want a lot of hot glue because we don't want it to squish out. Yeah, we want to just really capture that really pretty lace. Just like that. And just like that. All right, we're getting close to being done. There you go. And while we're waiting for all that to kind of dry, I want to remind you guys that I love to give away my projects. So watch to the end of the video, and then you can learn how you can win this tag at the very end. So stay tuned, I'll come right back. All right, it's time to add a little bit of ribbon at the top of the tag. I like to layer some wide ribbon. Oh my goodness, I'm just going to use my little pokey tool here. Some wide ribbon here. And then we're just going to tie that with a little bit of baker's twine, and then we'll trim it down a little bit. And then I like to tie the ends of the baker's twine just so they don't unravel over time. Especially with something like a Christmas tag or an ornament that you might have over time. It can get handled and then start unraveling. All right. And then the last little bit of this, we're going to trim this to like that. And then I've got a cute little jingle bell that I've added just to a little bit of twine. I'm going to move my knot on this ribbon down a little bit. And I like to both glue and tie the jingle bell, because if you just glue it, it's in kind of a precarious place and it could just get knocked off. So we're going to tie it once there. Put a little bit of glue. Put it on the center here. Okay, and then we can just wrap this around to the back. And then you guys, we can take this and we can knot that twine, and this can be a hanger or used to tie it on to the gift or whatever you're going to do with it. There we go. All right, and I've just gone ahead and placed this little photo here. I've just sort of taped it in place so the winner of this tag, that won't be there. And then we're going to add some Dazzle stickers for the season here. And I think we're going to do, this one I used Merry Christmas with the same collection in green. This one I really like the silver against the black. So I think we're going to do, let's do blessings here. I think that's really sweet since we're kind of talking about family photos. And we're going to take that little eye there. I like to use a little pokey tool. Kind of helps get things going when you're trying to peel those off. All right, and then we can also add more down here, and I think the word love would be really sweet. Get rid of that. This E still has a little bit of a piece in there. There we go. All right, so that's the way the front of the tag is going to look. And then we turn that over. We've got our little pocket with a couple of vintage photos in it, you know, and if you didn't want to do a photo theme, you could add, you know, a couple of gift cards in your pocket, hang it on the tree Christmas morning. But we're going to go with that photo theme. I made a little card, and we could just put that right in there, as well as a couple of photos that are just really beautiful family heirlooms. There we go. Make sure it all gets in there and looks pretty. There we are. So you guys, there's our little gift tag with pockets. These are kind of jumbo oversized gift tags for the holidays. As you can see, they're really fun to put together. They're versatile. You could do something like a photo of a child that's now an adult with a favorite cookie recipe. It's particularly cute if you have a photo of them eating a cookie or making cookies or in the kitchen somehow, and then just tucking in that little recipe card. And then this one, of course, with the heritage photos that we're passing down. And if you would like to, you know, make copies of those photos and stick them in. But I always like to receive originals and then take photos with my smartphone and then just pass them around to everybody that's there. Everybody can just, you know, I can just send them those photos as well so you can share. So you guys, thanks so much for joining me today. If you like, comment, and subscribe, one of you will receive this one without the photos on it, so you can just place your own right there. I love to share my projects, so make sure you watch next week's video and follow the instructions at the end of this week's video to find out how you can claim your prize. Well, Merry Christmas in July, and we'll see you next time.